I give the call to the member for Reid.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and thank you, Father of the House. I'd like to acknowledge that my electorate of Reid sits amongst many on the other side. I acknowledge the member for Watson, who's my next-door neighbour, electorally that is. I imagine the member for Chifley may well follow me, the member for Greenway, who is a couple of electorates away, the member for Blaxland, who's not here, is another next-door neighbour of me. And in that area of Western Sydney, we see a lot of each other. And I know that the member for Watson, I share his passion for this space because I see him. I know Saturday is one of the two most important days in the Islamic calendar. And I haven't looked at my calendar yet, but I have no doubt that I'll be spending a fair bit of time with both the member for Watson and the member for Blaxland, which is not an unusual occurrence, as is the member of Greenway and the member for Chifley. Like them, and like all in my electorate, which is an inclusive and tolerant place, I understand that Australia has and will always be built on the back of migration. This is what makes us so great. And like the member for Sydney, I've only been in this place for a little over 12 months, but there are two things, hands down, that are my favourite part of the job. And in case you're wondering, one of them is not being in Canberra. The two of them are citizenship ceremonies, and they have been mentioned, because no matter what the story, what reasons, and everyone in front of you that day has their own unique story, that their own path that they've trod to get there. They have their own language, their culture, their religion, their dress, their food, everything about them that makes it unique. And I, without doubt, every time challenge them to pass that to their children so that they may pass it to their grandchildren, because that is what has always made this country great. It is what we should celebrate and foster. The second part I love so much, whether it's in Canberra or in my electorate, is visiting schools. And two of my three children are at school in my electorate. Why do I love it so much? Because we are all just looking after this joint for them. But you know what? Through the eyes of youth, we can learn so much. Sitting 5 minutes from my home in my electorate, obviously not at the moment because it's school holidays, but on a normal school basis, are my two daughters surrounded by Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, atheists and Muslims. And not one of the children in those classes identifies anyone by race or anyone by religion. And neither does the vast majority of my electorate, of the member for Watson's electorate, the member for Greenway's electorate, the member for Chifley's electorate, the member for Blaxland's electorate, and all those through Western Sydney, which is where this is cutting. I don't begrudge talking about this topic. We need to. People are scared. I get that. But when people are scared, leaders need to stand up. They need to lead by example, not by scaring people. There are two ways you can lead, and the former, for me, is far superior to the latter. Terrorists have two goals, and this is what hasn't been spoken about a lot. First is, yes, we fear attack. I get that. But the second is they hate what we stand for, freedom and democracy. And the best way they can attack us, without actually attacking us, is to turn us on ourselves, because we then do the work for them. We can't, as leaders in this parliament, allow that to happen. We can't allow any child of any religion, and I'm not going to focus on one, any religion, to be abused because of their faith, their dress, the colour of their skin. That is what we must stand shoulder to shoulder and eradicate. I'm only too happy to stand time and time again in this house and debate this. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared that. I'm excited that this was a topic of an MPI today, because it gives me a chance to stand up and affirm on behalf of the people of Reid, who don't talk about multiculturalism. We live it and we get it, that it has and will always make our country the great place it is.